Okay, we will go ahead and get started. I had a feeling it was going to be a small group. There's not very many people in the building. I felt like right now. Yeah, there's probably two classes. How many of you been to the career fair? Never been, never been? Okay, so hopefully even if you've been, and I'd love to hear your feedback for the ones of you that have been. Give me your opinions on how you think things have gone. We're basically going to go over like what to expect, how to prepare. I'm also going to take you into Handshake and show you how you can see the list of companies that are coming to the career fair so you can make a game plan. Okay, so it's coming up. It's in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now, September 25th. It is at the Lubbock Civic Center, which is just a few miles east of here. The time is from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it's only open to Rawls students until 1 p.m. So if you have any friends that are not Rawls majors that want to come, they can come. Can I get you signed in for me? Right there. They can come, but they can't come in until 1 o'clock, okay? And there will be buses that run back and forth from right over here by the baseball field back and forth to the career fair from 9:30 to 3:30. So if you want to hop on a bus to go over there, the buses just are continually going back and forth, okay? So that's how that works. And then you could also drive over there. There's a huge parking lot. There's plenty of parking, free parking, so that's an option too. As you come in, you will swipe your ID, or you can use your email to check in, and then it's going to print you a little sticker with your name and your graduation date. Then you're going to go to another table, and they're basically going to assemble your lanyard for you. So they will put your sticker on there, and then they'll ask you your major, and you'll put a sticker for your major on your name tag. At that station, we will also have maps of the fair, so you can see like if you're looking for a particular company, you can see where it's at versus trying to just walk all the way through and find it. And then we also have bags if you want to take a bag with you, because some of the companies a lot of the companies have what we call swag on their tables, so little giveaways and things like that. So if you want to have a bag to collect those things, you can. We also have a backpack zone, so there's a place where you can drop your backpack or purse off and you get a little ticket, and we have students that sit there all day long and guard your bags. If you don't want to carry your backpack around, that's understandable. You can definitely leave it there. Even purses, like it's safe. We definitely leave that. We don't leave that spot unmanned the entire day. There's another little area called, I forget what it's called, but it's where you go in. There's a mirror there. You can go. You need to check your hair, whatever. We've got a few little disposable brushes and combs, hairspray, deodorant, mints, and things like that. First impression booth, that's what it's called. We also have free water while supplies last. So I would say if you see the water on the table, grab one, because the waters kind of go quickly. So there's going to be just a big table full of water when you come in, and I would say go ahead and grab one. Because they do go, and you will get thirsty, because when you're walking around talking to employers, your mouth is going to get dry. We also have a headshot booth. It's called PopCam, and there's typically a long line for that. So I'm going to show you how you can make an appointment, though, for a headshot. So you can either get an appointment or you can stand in the line and you walk up, take your headshot, and then you follow the little instructions it gives you, and your headshot is on your phone instantly. It's like it sends it to you right then. And it also puts your headshot on multiple backgrounds. So there's going to be like a Rawls background that's like red and black or red and white or black and white, something like that. And then it'll give you different options. So it's your same picture. You get to pick the picture, and then it puts it on different backgrounds that you can use for like your LinkedIn profile or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so this picture is what it looks like. If you've never been there before, you can see. This is exactly what it looks like. It's a picture from our actual career fair. A lot going on. I will say the spring career fair is a little bit smaller than the fall. I think right now we have about 103 companies registered, whereas in the fall we could have anywhere from 150 to 160. So the spring one is a little smaller, but we usually have the same amount of students that go through. So I kind of already explained the check-in process, how that works when you go through. And And there will be a line that kind of forms early on. So since it opens at 10, there is usually a little bit of a line right there that kind of backs up, but once we open the doors, it gets going pretty fast to go into the career fair. One question I get asked pretty frequently is how long should you expect to be at the career fair? And that's up to you, however much time you want to spend and how much time you can spend between classes. A lot of professors will cancel class that day, but not all of them do, so you may have to still go to class. I've even heard of tests being scheduled on career fair day. So it just depends on how many companies you plan to talk to. You could spend the whole day there if you want, but I would say on average, probably about an hour to 2 hours is about how much time you would plan to spend there. So you want to plan on wearing business professional attire. We actually do have a dress code for our career fair. It's kind of interesting too because we hear every semester the recruiters are so impressed with how the Rawl students are dressed, and they love it. They love seeing y'all dressed in your business professional attire because other schools don't have that. So some other schools that shall remain nameless are not quite as impressive as the Rawls because they don't have a dress code for their career fair. And it really does make a difference. It really does help you put on a better first impression when you're dressed professionally. So if you're not sure what professional dress is, these are some examples of what we're talking about here. It could even be like a nice blouse and a skirt or blouse and trousers, dress pants. You want to stay away from what we call business casual even because that's like a step below business professional. You don't have to wear heels. So some people think, oh, I have to wear heels if I have on a skirt or something like that. No, you don't. You're going to be walking around on a hard concrete floor, so you need to have on comfortable shoes. I would not wear heels if I were you, unless you love walking around in heels for a couple of hours. I would say dress comfortable, knowing that you're going to be walking around. So here are some more ideas of what is considered like a traditional suit. Okay, so a business suit is what makes it different than I would say like a business casual is the jacket and the pants match. They're the same material, the same color. You want your shirt underneath to be pressed and also to wear a tie. Okay. You will see students walking around the career fair that may or may not have on the complete suit, and that's okay. If you are in the process of applying for internships and full-time jobs, I suggest you invest in a suit because you're going to be wearing it for your interviews anyways. You do not have to spend $500–600 on a suit. Okay, there are places you can buy suits and business professional attire for, a lot less than that. The University Career Center does have a clothes closet. I've never been over there to see it. I think it's by appointment only, but they do have that if you need to go get clothing from there. Okay? Any questions about what business professional attire looks like? No questions on that? Yes?
Do you have to wear black?
You don't. Oh, that's a good point. So for these type suits, typically you're going to see like navy, shades of navy, gray, or black. Okay? For these types of suits, especially these days, it's acceptable now more than it used to be for these suits to be other colors. Okay, especially if we're heading into spring, it is okay to wear a different color. Yeah, it does not have to be black, navy, gray. Your blouse doesn't have to be white. So yes, I would say show your personality with your attire, but you want to remember that you're a business major, so it needs to look professional. Yes. They don't have to. This is just a guide to show you that this is considered professional. And like I said, you're going to see some things, and you're going to be like, So we're always tasked with stopping the students that we don't feel like are wearing business professional attire, and every semester we do have to, unfortunately, turn some students away. But for the most part, it's pretty good. I'm kind of along the lines of I look at this and think that looks a little it could look a little boring to some people. So if you want to wear a little more color, that's perfectly fine too. I've seen some really cute suits that are like pink, or they look nice. And
you can look on Pinterest for business casual or business attire.
Yes, you can. That's a good idea. You can look, but make sure you put in the word professional too, because you don't want to show up in business casual, okay? So this kind of tells you too, like, really, these are the things we're saying no to, okay? No shorts, no jeans. You will see some jeans. We don't necessarily turn jeans away, depends on what the rest they have going on. But no tattered or torn clothing, no extremely short clothing or revealing clothing, okay? So those are the extremes. Those are what we're going to say no to, all right? And you're not giving your best first impression if you're dressed like this anyways. So keep that in mind. Also, just some other things you might not think about is don't be chomping gum like when you're getting ready to talk to a recruiter. If you're worried about your breath or your mouth being dry, do some type of quick acting mint or something that you can chew up, get rid of, which we do have mints in the first impression booth, but no gum, okay? And then also, like your cell phone, it's okay to have your phone, but put it on silent because you don't want it to buzz or beep or ring when you're trying to talk to a recruiter. It's going to throw you off, okay? Now I'm going to show you this video. We made this a few years ago, but it's from our actual career fair. And we've got some recruiters on here that we like interview and ask them questions, so it's some really good information.
The Rawls Career Fair is an event hosted each semester solely for students in the Rawls College of Business. Employers come to specifically hire business students, and professional attire is required to enter. You will need to bring your student ID to check in and bring plenty of resumes to hand out to recruiters. You can expect well over 100 companies to be present, as well as around 1,500 Rawls students throughout the day. We asked some of our employers a few key questions about what they're looking for in a candidate at the fair.
So a couple ways is come up to us ready to tell stories about maybe differentiating capabilities that you've developed while you're in school, maybe a couple of instances of projects you've worked on, groups you've led, initiatives you've been a part of.
Really coming up to us and knowing more about our business before they get here, understanding what we do, understanding who we are.
Just genuinely seem excited about the opportunities and someone who just is natural and friendly.
Yes. I think it's equally important for someone to take a personal inventory and know what they're looking for as well, to make sure that that's a match. You know, that's our goal too. We're looking for a good fit for the company, but we're looking for a great fit for the students as well.
I mean, at least a basic understanding. I'm not expecting people to know all the ins and outs of the company, but general familiarity is important.
Yeah, I think the first thing we look for is intelligence. We feel like our jobs are pretty complex. If somebody's smart, we think we can teach them. Second thing, leadership skills. You know, what organizations are involved in? Are they elected for a leadership position? Really the last thing, a good person gene. You know, would we send them to go pick up Mr. Sewell from the airport? Do they represent what we're looking for?
Really what we're looking for are real willing and abled, very driven candidates that are looking to work hard and really looking to work smart.
First and foremost, we look for a candidate that matches some of the core values that USAA represents: honesty, integrity, loyalty, and service.
You know, when they really speak eloquently, they understand what it means to interview. They've done some prep work. They're very clear with what they're looking for, and they've got an agenda.
Their presentation, what they're looking for, how they approach me.
Be able to talk a little bit about, you know, the products or the capabilities a little bit, the business itself. So just come prepared. Come with your elevator speech. Come, you know, ready to make a impact on the person you're talking to. So.
I think someone who is nervous, you know, we're all going to be nervous at a career fair, but someone who can really fight the nerves and appear with that confidence, and someone who is, you know, not knowing anything about the company before they come up.
I think the biggest pet peeve, and this is probably across the board, is not knowing what you want to do.
Someone who doesn't really know much about what we're looking for, and or they're coming to us and it's not a degree field that we're really advertising for.
Yeah, we've been coming here for a long time, great relationships with Texas Tech students, the values they share, history of winning, being the best. That's why we're here. We've had good success.
I am from Lubbock, so I personally advocate for it within Dell, but we also have a lot of alumni here.
It's been a really good match for us, both culturally and technology perspective. It's proven successful at our company, and we want to continue to grow that.
I think confidence is really important, knowing a little bit about the company, but also knowing some research about themselves and what they're looking for, and saying something to stand out, maybe saying something about themselves that's unique that not everyone is going to tell us when they come up.
I think just being themselves, having a conversation, really it comes down to relationships and people, so good eye contact, good posture, big smile, and then just being themselves. You got to make sure the company fits your values as well, and that's what we're looking for.
In addition to recruiter booths, you can also find information for study abroad options, a professional headshot for your LinkedIn profile, or be sure to stop by our First Impressions tent to check yourself in a mirror before speaking with employers. The Rawls Career Management Center is here to help you succeed and find that dream job that you're searching for. Are you Rawls ready?
Okay, so what stood out to you from this video? Anybody? What did you learn?
You know that confidence is key. When you go there, don't be nervous, just be yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be yourself. Very good, yeah. What else?
I think maybe researching the company they're going to go to before.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Plan maybe like where you're going to start off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to go over all that. Anything else?
What to say for like what you're looking for.
Yes, yes. One thing, I've watched this video probably 700 times. I've been showing it for years. One thing that I noticed over time was, did you notice that some of them seemed a little nervous answering the questions? So, you know, they're human. They're human. They got nervous too when they were put on the spot to do these videos. So they know that for y'all coming into a career fair situation that you're going to be a little bit nervous. You know, they know that. And most of the recruiters do a really good job of try to make you feel comfortable. If you get in front of them and you just freeze up, they're going to bail you out. They'll start asking you questions and try to be friendly. I mean, there are a couple of awkward ones out there, but for the most part, they're all very friendly. Most of them are pretty young. You know, you'll be talking to people who just graduated last year, you know, and they're over there in those booths recruiting for these companies. So yeah, just keep that in mind as well. Also, did you pick up on what USAA said? You probably didn't. They actually listed their core values, honesty, integrity, something, something, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, that's a hint to you. Some companies are really big on whatever their core values are. And so if you had done a little bit of research on USAA, you would probably see that right away. If you can walk up, I wouldn't say, this would be difficult to do for every company you speak to, but your top 5, top 3 or 4, if you can dig a little deeper on your research and try to find things like that, that's going to go a long way with impressing the recruiters. You're not going to be able to do it for everyone.
Is there going to be a list of companies that are on the career fair?
Yeah, I'll show you that in just a minute. I just kind of wanted to see like what stood out to y'all from there. Okay, so let's talk about how to make a game plan. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to show you how to use Handshake to see the complete list of companies that are going to be there, so that you can, you know, kind of start making a game plan. You can go and see, okay, what are the open positions, and I'll show you. I've already looked through several of the companies that will be at Career Fair don't have a job posted in Handshake. Okay, and that's okay. So you would want to find out from them what's the best way to apply. If you had not gone to their website, then you might not know what their open positions are. But if it's a company you're really, really interested in, you would want to go to their website and see, okay, if they don't have it on Handshake. So pick your top companies, and however many you want to talk to, that's up to you. I would say a reasonable amount is going to be anywhere between 10 and 20, 15, 20, something like that. You're welcome to talk to more. If 20 sounds too overwhelming to you, go talk to 5, okay? So it's just up to you and how you want to approach it. But I would definitely try to spend a little bit of time knowing, you don't want to walk up knowing absolutely nothing about the company, okay? It could happen to where you're just kind of walking by a table, you make eye contact with a recruiter, they smile, you smile, no one else is standing there. So you walk up and start talking, and they weren't on your plan. They weren't in your game plan. You have no clue what this company does. That's okay. That happens, okay? It happens. Go up, start having a conversation, and just say, I'm sorry I haven't had a chance to review your company. Can you tell me a little bit about your company? You definitely don't want to do that to your top companies, okay? I'm just saying it could happen, but you don't want to rely on that. Okay, then after you make your list, go ahead and I would say rank them in some type of order of your interest level, okay? Now, what I would do is if I had 10 companies listed and I list them 1 to 10, 10 is my company that I'm the least interested in. If I walked into career fair, I'm going to go to number 10 first. Why would I do that? Practice, right. Because you're going to need to warm up. You're going to need to kind of build that confidence as you are introducing yourself to the recruiters and getting those conversations going, getting your brain working. So it's like a warm-up, right? So that's what I would do. I would go to the one you're least interested in first, and then your top ones save until you've gotten warmed up and kind of built that confidence up, okay? Now, I will say there's a couple of companies there, the lines are going to be long, okay? Goldman Sachs, Lockheed Martin's coming. They will have long lines. So if you are tenacious and you're really interested in them, you'll be standing there for a while, okay? Your conversations with recruiters are not going to be long. A couple of minutes, that's it, okay? Now, if no one's standing in line, they may talk to you longer than that. But if there's people waiting in line, they're gonna move quickly through those, okay? All right, so what do? You gotta walk up, you gotta be able to introduce yourself, okay? So I do have a handout back there on elevator pitch. This is not an elevator pitch workshop. But I brought the handouts in case you want to use those to try to develop your pitch. We just did one this last what day is this? Thursday? Tuesday for the Lunch and Learn, it was on elevator pitch. If you go to our YouTube channel, Rawls Career Management Center, that video's up, or it will be. And we have other elevator pitch videos on our YouTube channel if you want to watch those. But at the very least, you've got to be able to walk up, make eye contact, smile, and introduce yourself. Don't make them read your name tag, okay? So you've got to walk up, be able to do this. Okay, let's talk about a handshake. Okay, there's one way to shake hands. Only one. It does not matter who you are or who you're shaking hands with. Okay, there's one way. You want to practice? Okay, just a normal handshake. Normal. Not too hard, not too soft. So kind of like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. You want it to be just right, okay? It does not matter gender. It does not matter age. Nothing. You always shake hands the same. Okay? So none of this, all that kind of stuff, all right? So you will be shaking hands. So if you struggle, if you are the type of person that struggles with eye contact, you got to practice, okay? Because they're making a first impression about you before you even start talking, honestly. Before anything comes out of your mouth, they're already deciding if they like you or not, or if they're interested in you or not. It's just like dating, okay? So you have to be able to approach with confidence, smiling, eye contact, shaking hands, introducing yourself. That's the basics, because we really want you to do more than that. We want you to be able to give your little elevator pitch of telling us more about you, okay? So that's what you're going to do. You're going to walk up to the booth, you're going to introduce yourself, tell them something about you. What do you say? Say your name. I like for you to say where you're from, if you're okay with that. I think it's interesting information. Tell them your major and tell them when you're graduating. Don't make them read it on your name tag. Because when you tell them that, right away, you're giving them valuable information to know. When you're graduating, tells them if you're looking for an internship or a full-time role. But they also want to know your major, okay? The companies or the booths, if you look at the back of the booth, there's the name of the company, but there's also stickers up there telling you what majors they hire. But if there's a company you're really interested in and they don't hire your major, or it's not up there, still go talk to them. Because, so let's just say there's a company here that hires finance, okay? But most companies have HR people, right? Most companies have IT people. So that they may not ascend the recruiters that hire those majors, but that's okay. Maybe they can connect you with the recruiters that do hire those majors. Okay, so if there's a company you're really interested in, don't let that keep you from talking to them. Okay, so introduction. That's the first thing. Then you can do something like, mention the company, show your intention, show why you stopped by. Okay, so why are you talking to them? I saw you have an open position for blank on Handshake, and I'm planning on applying, or I have applied. Some of you have already applied for the jobs that are on Handshake, and the companies will be at the career fair. Or you could say, I noticed you have a management trainee program, and I'm really interested in that type of program. So if you can prove your interest in the company, that's always impressive. Okay, so this is one way to tackle your introduction. Then you can use either an elevator pitch style, like I've got here for you to kind of create, or you can use the past, present, future model. Okay, what does that mean? You can, not yet, talk a little bit about your past. Okay, the introduction part, the introduce yourself, that's always, you do that no matter what, okay? Then you can say, my most recent work is, or I'm currently, or I'm working, or I have worked, or, tell them what you've done. Where have you been? Tell them a little bit about your past, okay? It can involve actual work, part-time work, internship that you already had maybe, or student involvement, extracurricular stuff, whatever you want to talk about, okay? Then you want to talk about what you're doing now. This is what I'm currently involved in, or where I'm currently working, or whatever, okay? Then you can talk about where you're headed. What are you looking for? So you pick what works best for you, because the point is that you're going to need to be able to, whatever path you choose, whether it's elevator pitch path or past, present, future, you've got to sound natural and conversational, okay? So whichever one of those works best for you to be able to do that is what you need to do. Go away. We don't need that. News. I don't even know what that is. Okay. So you're sounding natural and conversational. You remember some of the recruiters said that in the video. That's what they want to see, your true personality, okay? Then you can ask a question, because some people are like, well, I don't know, I feel like I get to the end of what I wanted to say and then it's awkward. Well, if you tack a question on the end, that's going to take away that awkwardness. If you look on the back of that handout, there's some sample questions that you can ask. And it kind of puts the ball in their court a little bit, okay, to start that conversation. And then let's just say, okay, but then what, okay? Well, here's a way for you to end. You can say, thank you for your time. It was so nice to meet you. Would you consider looking over my resume when you have time to see if I'm a fit for any roles in your company? Because some people don't know how to give them the resume. Sometimes the company will say, the recruiter will say, do you have a resume? Yes, I do. Okay. Sometimes they never mention it, and you're like, how am I supposed to give them my resume? And then you say, can I give you a copy of my resume? Yes.
Can you give them hard copies, or can you give them like an online?
You will give them a hard copy, yes. You will take copies of your resume with you to the career fair. So we're going to get to that, but yes, that's a good point. Okay, so you kind of see how it works. You kind of see how the little conversation goes. You'll see the different recruiters. Some of them just go on and on and on, and some of them don't talk much at all, okay? So you'll see the different personalities. Some companies will have an iPad or something for you to sign into to get your contact information. That's possible. Some companies that will be doing interviews the next day after career fair in the Rawls, they may schedule you for an interview. They may say, can you interview tomorrow at 2 or whatever. So be prepared for that as well, okay? That's a small number of the companies that are there. Some of them will just do virtual interviews later or something, okay? Okay, these are some other good examples. These are some other examples of good questions. Probably some of them are the same that's on the back of that sheet. But I always feel like it's a good way to bail out too. Like if you feel like you're like, okay, this is like you don't feel like you're doing well on after your introduction or whatever, just jump into a question. Okay, that's always like, I would say, your safe bet if you feel like you're not getting that elevator pitch out. But also try to get your elevator pitch out. Okay. Okay, so as far as the resumes go, your resume needs to be printed on resume paper, not white copy paper, okay? We have resume paper in our office. It's like a cream color. You can take 25 sheets and print it on your own, or we can print it for you. So up until the Friday before career fair, which is the 21st, you can email it to this email address here, Stacy F. Johnston. You email it to her, she will print them, and she'll email you and let you know when they're ready to pick up. Or here in this area, right over here in the atrium, on the Monday and Tuesday before career fair from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., we're going to be sitting out here with printers, printing resumes, okay? So if your resume is ready to go, you'll email it to us and we'll print it right there for you. You don't have to use that cream color paper. If you want to use some other document paper, you can. It's just not white copy paper, okay? So the difference is, you can tell the difference in the way that the paper feels. It's a little bit heavier than a piece of white copy paper, and also if you hold it up to a light, you can see what's called a watermark. So it'll be like a marking in the paper. That's just standard for professional style paper versus white copy paper. You're also going to want to bring your resumes in something. You don't want to just bring 25 handheld papers, right? They're going to be wrinkled and all that. So you want something, a folder, a pad folio, something like that. We do sell these in our office. We make zero money on them. We sell them for $15. But they're nice because you can put your resumes here. If you collect any business cards, you can put them here, and then they come with a notepad and a pen. So you can have, because you may need to take notes at some point at the career fair. They give you certain instructions, or maybe you have some thoughts you need to write down. These are in our office. We sell these for $15. We do take cards. Right here, you come in the front doors on the right. Yeah, room 119. Yeah.
I found one at Goodwill for $3 in the past.
There you go. Perfect. Yes. It does not have to be just like this. If you want to, wherever, you can find one. I like it as, it's not like a keepsake for the Rawls too, but yeah, we don't make money on these. We sell them for what we buy them for. So, okay, let's see what else here. Okay, so that's about resumes. So let's go now to Handshake. Any questions so far? Y'all tracking? Okay, so now I'm in Handshake, and if you go over here to Events, then you can go scroll down a little bit and you'll see the career fair. It's going to take you to the main page for the career fair event. And then if you want to review this information here, it's pretty much everything we're talking about in this workshop today. But then if you'll go right here to all employers, that's where you're going to see the complete list. And I didn't look again right before the workshop, but there's around 100 companies. They're in alphabetical order. So if you don't want to look through all 100, then you can come over here to the left and use some of these filters to try to narrow it down if you want to. I don't think 100 is too many to look through. If I would look through all of them, you're just looking right at this point. But if you want to, you can, and then you can also use maybe internship as a filter or full-time. The part-time would be considered an internship if you want to filter out full-time versus internship. But let's just go ahead and click on one. So let's say we're looking at Beacon Hill. It's going to take you to basically their Handshake company page, which is, it's full of great information. This keeps you from having to go all the way to the website, and you can just get like a brief overview of the company. There usually is a link to the company website. If there are any jobs posted on Handshake, they're going to be linked right here. So you can quickly click there and you can see the jobs that are posted, okay? But yeah, if you just scroll down, there's going to be, information. But then, this is something a lot of people miss. This right here, this people, there's recruiters for this company sitting right there in Handshake for you to reach out to, okay? That's why they're there. If they didn't want to be reached out to, they wouldn't have their recruiters connected here. So you can click on these and you can message recruiters through Handshake. And you can just say, introduce yourself in a message and say, I plan on coming by your booth at the career fair, something like that if you want to. You don't have to do that part, but I think it's great for the companies that you're super duper interested in, okay? Another thing I want to point out is when you come across a company page in Handshake, if you click this follow button here, what that does is that tells Handshake you are interested in that company, and then Handshake will then continue to, anytime this company does anything in Handshake, it's gonna notify you, okay? So let's say if Beacon Hill posted an interview posted a job, or had some kind of workshop on campus or something like, not even on campus, but posted some kind of an event, which they can do, then Handshake's gonna notify you because you followed that company, okay? So that's kind of cool too. So the companies that you're super interested in, you wanna click that follow button. Okay, any questions about how to see which companies? Okay, now I'm going to show y'all, let's see here. There's a couple of ways you can find where to sign up for the headshots. Okay, I think this is one of the good spots. Okay, so right over here, when you're in Handshake, hover over your profile photo, or it'll have your initials. Go to My Meetings, okay? And if you click on campus interviews, this is going to show you this list right here. Those are the companies who are doing their interviews the day after the career fair in our office. Some of them will be maybe over at the UCC, but the point is they're called on-campus interviews. So if you're gunning for an interview the next day, then if you go to My Meetings, on-campus interviews, you can see the list of companies that will be doing that, okay? Not every company does that, but you can see the ones that are, okay? And then this is where you can sign up for the headshot. I know this is confusing because it's listed here. It's not. It's listed like a job. It's not a job. It's a schedule for you to sign up for a headshot at the career fair. Okay, so I'm going to show you again where I was, because I know that can be, you can actually find it in two ways. So right here, from your profile, hover there, click there, go to My Meetings. Okay, My Meetings. And then go to on-campus interviews, which makes no sense, I know that. Then click headshots right here. And you can sign up for a time slot. And what it's going to do is it's going to put like 4 at a time per every 10 minutes, so that most people standing in line for that slot will be 4 people. And it literally takes a minute to get your headshot done, okay? So if you don't want to wait in the long line, I suggest you do this. Yes?
I pulled it up and it doesn't show like the times.
It doesn't?
No.
What does it look like? From My Meetings? Okay, here's another way to look for it. Go to Jobs, and then in the search box, put in headshot, and from there, you'll apply. It's not a job. It's just the way we have listed in there. It sets it up like a schedule. If you click apply there, it should take you to the time slots. I've already applied, that's why it says withdraw application. And it won't let me, but anyway, that's another way to find that schedule. Did it work? Okay. I think after you apply, it'll show up in My Meetings again.
Apply for it.
Yeah. Okay, you have to apply first, then it'll show up in My Meetings, or you can still come back to Jobs and search headshot. Okay.
So are the numbers like our booths or just?
No, there's only one booth.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
So then, are there 2 lines for the people with the?
There are 2 lines, yeah, we have 2
No,
cameras,
okay.
yeah. So actually, yeah, we have 2 cameras. One is walk-ups, basically, and the other one will be the schedule, yeah. Yes. What other questions do y'all have? Yes.
So if a company we're interested in doesn't have a job posted on Handshake, you said, like, should we go and try to look on their website and stuff like
Yes,
that?
yeah, if you have time, go see what they have posted on their website, and if you're still confused, you ask them at the career fair, you know. Yeah, what internships or full-time roles would they have available?
And I also saw on Handshake what sometimes it says like the major that they're looking for. Is that like a hard and fast rule or?
Not necessarily, yeah. The only time that really tends to apply is if they're looking specifically for like finance or accounting or IT. Because those are specific. Like you're not gonna get put in a finance role typically if you're a management major, right? So if you're marketing or management and it's pretty much wide open except for those particular roles.
Yeah.
And then if you're finance, accounting, or IT, then you're open to your specific one or anything else, you know. So that kind of supply chain, I feel like can go anywhere pretty much too, except for finance, accounting, and IT. So the point is, if there's a company you're really interested in and it doesn't say that they hire your major, still go talk to them. Shoot your shot. That's what I say. Okay. Don't count yourself out before you give yourself a chance. You just never know. I was in HR before this job. I have seen all kinds of things happen. You just never know what can happen. I see a lot of concrete black and white thinking from people in y'all's age group. I've got 25 years, I have quintuplets. They're 25 years old, all boys. And I have conversations with them. One of them's job searching right now, and I see a lot of that black and white concrete thinking. I'm like, you don't know that for sure. You don't know. You have to go and find out. You have to see, because you just never know. So it's definitely worth a shot to talk to people that you're interested in. And sometimes if they like you, it doesn't matter what your major is. They're going to put you in, they're interested in you, they're interested in you. So don't let that count yourself out. One thing I also want to mention about resumes is if you plan on applying for a job in Handshake, you have to have a resume uploaded in Handshake. And I'll show y'all, let me go back to Handshake. You're going to go right here up on the right-hand corner, you're going to click on My Documents, and it's going to allow you to upload a PDF of your resume. Once you do that, you're automatically going to go in the queue for our resume coaches to give you feedback. It's just the way our system is set up. So your feedback's going to come in your messages in Handshake or in your email, depending on how you set up your notifications. Most people didn't know there's notifications set up, so it's going to be in your inbox in Handshake. They're going to give you feedback on your resume whether you want it or not. I suggest you take their feedback, okay? But Handshake will let you apply for jobs without a resume sometimes, but they don't really get your application. So if you're applying in Handshake, that resume has to be uploaded. Yes?
So the resume, like when you submit it, it says that it needs approval, so even though it needs approval, it is still be available.
Right. It doesn't really have to be approved anymore. That's an old thing. We don't really approve them anymore. We just give feedback. Once it's uploaded, it's good. Yeah. It just has to be uploaded. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Yes.
So for afterwards, you got a bunch of contacts and all that stuff. And some of them are hosting interviews the next day.
Yes.
Are you applying to all these jobs that same day?
Sometimes you are. Sometimes they will say you need to go apply tonight. Yeah. And sometimes you may not hear anything from any of them for a couple of weeks. Sometimes you may not hear from them at all. But the ones that are doing the interviews the next day, they're going to either tell you that at the booth, or they may say, we're going to give you a call tonight to set you up a time. They all do it different. Sometimes they'll tell you your time right there at the booth if they want to interview you the next day. Yeah. So they're all kind of a little bit different. Yes. Good question. Any other questions? Are y'all nervous? Excited? Don't be nervous. It'll be fun. Okay, so the people who've been, right, raise your hand again if you've been to the career fair. Okay, do y'all want to give us any? What do you think?
Yeah, if it's your first time and you still have 2 more years left after you get it the first time, it's way easier.
Yeah, it does.
Because you just don't know what to expect with choreographing.
Yeah.
Also, if you can make the etiquette dinner, I think that's one of the best things.
Yes, good point. So the etiquette dinner is always the night before the career fair, and it fills up in the first 2 weeks of every semester. So this etiquette dinner is already full. So if you've never gone, you'll have another chance next fall or next spring to go, depending on when you're graduating. But it is a good warm-up, and it's right here in the Rawls. It's over in the new wing, and what it is you're seated at a table with other students and a recruiter. So you get a chance to talk to recruiters that night, other students, get a free meal, and then we have a lady giving a dinner etiquette presentation. So she's teaching you what proper dinner etiquette is. So yeah, it's a good opportunity too. It's a good lead up. I'm sorry?
How do you sign up for next month?
In Handshake. Yes, so we start sending out emails right when the semester starts that it's open to RSVP for that. Yeah, and it fills up fast. The Monday night before the career fair, in this room, we are going to have, it's a career fair prep again, different career coach giving a little talk on it, a lot of similar information, but we have 2 or 3 employers that are going to be here. So they're going to be here giving their opinion on how to do a career fair, and then a chance, and I can't tell you off the top of my head who they are right now, I can't remember, but they will be here, so that's another good chance to kind of warm up and talk to recruiters. If you really want to know who they are, you can come back by the office tomorrow and ask Dennis. Dennis is the one who's doing that event. I apologize that I can't remember which companies are going to be here. So that's a good warm up too for a career fair. Yeah. So that's all I have for today. Thank y'all so much for coming. If you did not sign in, you can either sign in on the sheet or scan the QR code to sign in for me. And good luck at the career fair.